Right. Extra points.
Mike Arsesky.
Anything is fine.
Hi everyone, I'm so happy to be here. You know that I started with you guys, right? But you did not see me graduate with you guys, right? So,
You are still one of us.
the problem is that I graduated with a class of 1991, and then they keep putting me in that class. And all these years, I get all these nagging emails from that class, and not from this class. So that's why I've never been here, but I'm so glad this time because of me. I'm really keep nagging me. So anyway, before my minute is up, I just want to let you guys know. Right now I'm at UCSF. After graduation, I went to UC San Diego, did residency. I ran into John there, but very briefly, just passed by.
She ran away still survived.
Smart girl.
Sorry.
And then I came back here, did a fellowship in pulmonary, and then I continued my research, and I stay until now. So I started doing a lot of research in lung development and lung repair, but now I did more clinical in the past few years. Yeah. So very happy to be here and so happy to connect with all of you. Yeah.
Okay, I'm responsible for pulling Thue and insist that she came tonight. So Thue was my maid of honor in my wedding. So we still kept very connected all these years. And remember Robbie Gibish, and Robbie is still a very good friend, and I think Robbie named his first child after my husband's Daniel.
Wow.
So we're still keeping contact. So a name from the past. I think I work in the same medical group as Vivian and Todd.
Babe, did you finish?
Are you done?
That was good timing. It was great.
What about the other 90%?
That was perfect. That was good. It was good.
Okay, everybody wants to like go get their cars out of the parking garage.
Oh
right?
dear. Yeah.
The reason why I pointed at John Mulligan to go first is I thought that he would actually be funnier than Mike Sweeney. And it didn't work. And then there was Mike Schmidt. It is really nice to see everybody. I hadn't come to the reunions until now. I'd been to one, like the 5-year reunion, and we were still carrying our baby around like in a carriage. Now he's 26. So yeah, it's really nice to be back and reconnect with everybody. I've been married now, going on our 30-year anniversary. So we have our 30-year anniversary along with the 30-year reunion, so that way I can keep track.
Get children. It's your reminder.
Right, 30 years. And some of you were actually at the wedding. Ofelia was my maid of honor. Anna Pacheco and I were apartment mates. We shared an apartment on 9th Avenue. And we actually are still in the same town. We're in Santa Rosa together, and we never see each other. Mike Sweeney and I practiced family medicine at Kaiser Permanente. You for way too long.
You're never
me for 19 years. I've been at KP. When the Santa Rosa facility opened a facility in Rohnert Park, I was the chief of the department there for a few years, and then moved back to Santa Rosa and became what we call at Kaiser Permanente the elected representatives. I was on the TPMG board of directors for 9 years, which was very, very informative. Got to schmooze with the CEO and that kind of stuff. Now I am actually the clinical director of our call center. When you're a Kaiser Permanente member and you want an appointment, if you don't go to kp.org, you call our call center. and you speak to a teleservice representative, and then transfer to a nurse if you need a clinical situation. Or don't go to the ER, we solved that problem.
Thank you.
And I oversee the Vallejo call center, so we have 400 teleservice representatives and 400 RNs that I oversee and am able to oversee their quality and the protocols that they use and so forth. So it's really actually very fun, because not only do I still get to practice medicine in my clinic, I practice in the Latino module since I'm bilingual in Spanish. I also, as the clinical director, get to affect the lives of 3.9 million Kaiser Permanente members by overseeing the quality of the calls that we receive. So,
And she doesn't send them to the ER.
we make sure of that, except the ones that actually need to go. There are some that actually need to go to the ER. So we have 2 kids. 26-year-old, our oldest son is a history teacher. He is devoted to urban education, teaches in inner city Oakland, and has some pluses and minuses about that. But he loves it. And our daughter is 22, and she is currently the campaign manager for a woman who's running for state senate, Mariko Yamada. And so she's in politics. She'll probably take after my beloved, who's an attorney. She'll probably be going into law school. And then we also finished raising our niece when my brother passed away. Our niece moved in with us, and we had her since she was 14. She's also 22. So I have like 2.5 kids. She's the only one who has decided to stay in medicine. She's a respiratory therapist and is actually working at the hospital in Sebastopol, where we live, that reopened recently. So we're very happy that they're all 3 launched so far. I love the work I do. Oren retired this past year. I love what I do. So I won't be retiring, but I enjoy all his gourmet cooking and sous vide that he prepares for me every night. So we're doing very well. So appreciate seeing everyone.
I'll defer. Go.
Future Chancellor of University of California.
Okay, I'm wearing blue, I get to go. Well, I'm very happy to be here today, and I have really mixed feelings because I'm thrilled to see everybody again, but I feel disappointed in myself because there's so many of you that I didn't really get to know during my 4 years here. Tom and I got married after first year, and we moved up to married student housing, and all those parties down on Irving Street.
I was a real drag on your social.
Tom, you're next, Tom.
But it's nice to have gotten to spend some time with you guys this weekend. Yancey's with you guys yesterday was very fun. And I feel blessed in so many ways. Tom and I have been married 33 years this summer. And he still treats me like gold, I have to say. I'm very blessed.
You deserve it. You deserve it.
You are gold.
I don't know how many of you guys know I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis our 4th year of medical school, and I've been very, very blessed. I've only had 1 flare-up, and I'm on no medicines and no disability. So again, we moved to Texas, to UT Austin in '87. So I did my internship at Mount Zion, and then we moved to Texas, and I did I did finish my internal medicine in San Antonio, and then I did a pulmonary critical care fellowship. And again, Tom's been so supportive. We lived apart for 5 years because they're an hour and a half apart, and we tried commuting, and then I almost fell asleep on the expressway driving home, and I said I can't do it, and we got separate places. So we lived apart for 5 years, and at our 10-year anniversary, we lived together for 5 and apart for 5. Wow. And he always supported my choices, so the best thing that's happened. Since that time, after I finished my fellowship, I worked for 5 years in Austin in a pulmonary critical care job at the general hospital there. It was an awesome job. It was a trauma center, so critical care, you could actually fix young people and make them better, because we did the critical care for the trauma service. It was very different from a medical service. And that was very fun, and it was a teaching hospital, so we attended in the ICU. Then we moved to Dallas because Tom took a job at Southwestern, and that was also a wonderful job. I had a transplant center, so I learned about pulmonary transplantation, pulmonary hypertension, cystic fibrosis, all the stuff you never see in a regular practice. And it was a teaching hospital, and I did a lot of graduate medical education, so that was very fun. But I didn't really like Southwestern. They're really arrogant there.
Honestly.
And then I was very blessed because Scripps opened a Florida campus, and I'm from Florida, and Tom always promised me we would move back there if a
That's
real
the
academic
That's the
place.
Meet in the middle of It's the secret to a happy
So
marriage.
it was awesome because they offered him a job which he didn't really want to take, but he took it because he'd always promised me we would be back there.
Once again, Tom, once again.
So now we are back in Florida, where I'm extremely happy, an hour from where I grew up, on the East Coast, on the water, great boat, we love the lifestyle. And he works for Scripps, which he doesn't like that much, but I retired when we moved there, so I love it.
All right.
I'm very involved in the community. I'm on the board for Girl Scouts, which I volunteered with for 13 years when my daughter was in Girl Scouts K through 12, and now I'm on the board. I'm on the board of a couple other nonprofits that help families at risk for abuse and neglect. And retirement can be fun if you get involved with stuff. I work part-time for a biotech spin-out company that Tom is my boss.
What a boss! You sleeping with the boss. Finally. First 10 years was rough.
So my hours are wonderful. They're very flexible.
Between midnight and 3.
We have one daughter who's 17, will be going off to college in the fall, probably back to Texas actually. And we're really we've been married 15 years before she was born, so we're actually excited about being empty nesters because remember what it was like before she was born. So we're hoping to travel more and be in the Bay Area again, and we collect timeshares. We have 4 timeshares. So if anybody likes Cancun, Riviera Maya, let us know. We'll plan a vacation together. I'm on social media a lot, probably more than most of you since I'm retired. But we started a Facebook page for our class, and I encourage everybody, if you've taken pictures this weekend, to join the group and post them so everybody can share and keep up with each other, because what I've really realized over this time frame of watching people in critical care is nothing's more important than your relationships.
Yeah.
And the best way to stay in touch is to connect, and social media helps you do that.
All right, okay.
There it is.
So I never left. Well, I left for a year. So I left and went to Cedars-Sinai to do an internship, internal medicine down there. Came back to UCSF where I did my anesthesia residency, and joined the faculty after I finished residency, and I've been there ever since. My husband, Rick, was a Stanford Medical School grad. But he came to UCSF for residency.
Yay! That's great.
Weekend nights together at the county, and that's how we started dating, and so
Shared a call room.
I'm the sexual harassment officer for the university. We just celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary. We have 4 children. 3 of them are in college, and 1 is launched in law enforcement. So we live in San Mateo, and he works in private practice. I worked at San Francisco General forever. I started off doing basic research. I'm a pharmacist, if you might recall. I came with a PharmD. So I did some basic pharmacology, sevoflurane. If any of you are anesthesia folks are using Sevo, I did some basic research with that for the first 5 years. And then became the OR director, became the chief of staff. I hear some chief of staff. So I was a chief of staff at San Francisco General before I became an associate dean for faculty affairs at the university. And about 6 years ago, I became the first African American to ever be a vice chancellor. Hard to just try to keep the focus on the people. You know, we build a lot of buildings, we do amazing things at the university, but sometimes people get lost in the sort of conversation about that, so I keep it kind of real as far as talking about the people and the situation, the climate for people, and us really sort of recognizing what differences people bring to the table and how do we leverage those differences for our greatness. So it's been a real great experience for me to have that opportunity at the university, so I've enjoyed that. I have a staff of about 20 people that I administrate. Nobody taught me how to do that. That's been interesting, sort of transitioning to doing the administrative piece. But I realized about 7 years ago when I was still at San Francisco General, 4 o'clock in the morning, pumping blood on a trauma patient, that I was too old for that. I just like couldn't do it anymore. It took me 3 days to recover. It was just really hard. And so this job has allowed me an opportunity to really try to make a difference in other sort of tangible ways at the university. I look almost weekly at when I can retire. So I'm envious of those of you who have retired, and I would suggest that you should be planning our next one 5 years from now, that you will recruit you to plan our next event. This has been great. I've helped to plan a lot of these. I actually haven't attended a lot of these, so I won't miss another one. So this has been wonderful. I missed a lot of parties. I was working actually as a pharmacist at San Francisco General in medical school, so I worked to pay my way through medical school. So I wasn't at those. I was never invited, but I wasn't at those parties. But I won't miss another one. So it's just a pleasure to see everybody. So I'm happy that you're back home, and this will always be your home, and hopefully you'll always come back and be with us.
From Brian Smith saying, you know, come back to the reunion. I thought, I'm coming. I really didn't graduate with these guys, but I'm coming. I can't wait to see people, because I graduated the year after. My younger brother got really sick during medical school. Some of you may remember, some of you may not, but the kindness from this class will never be forgotten. I learned a lot through that, and I am so delighted to be here. I sort of have a circuitous path, nothing like following the vice chair, vice chancellor of UCSF when you're presenting, but so my credentials are not nearly as impressive as Renee. But it's wonderful to be here. I do emergency medicine in rural Oregon, Klamath Falls, and we see everybody and everything, and when the healthcare system falls apart, guess what? They come to the ER, so we have job security. So I graduated a year after you, and I always considered you kind of like my class, and I'm so happy to be here. But living through my younger brother's illness and death changed me a lot, and even though it was bad, it was good in some ways. But anyway, so I did a transitional internship, worked in Africa, worked in Mexico, did pediatrics, did a variety of jobs, and worked in migrant farmer clinics in Washington, and worked in rural India, and then did emergency medicine because I just loved emergency medicine. And now worked in OHSU as a faculty member for 8.5 years, which was great until I realized I was killing myself because for those of you who are in faculty, you realize it's hard. You work all the time. But now I work, after working in southern Texas along the border and taking care of a lot of Hispanic patients, my Spanish is much better, which is good. And now I work in southern Oregon, which is very nice, and I only work, 8 shifts a month, which is great, so I have time to do other things. But UCSF was a blessing for me, and all of you are a blessing for me, so thank you very much. And if you're ever in Klamath Falls, wanting to see the beautiful Klamath Falls, we're not economically doing great, but we have beautiful, beautiful scenery, and you're welcome to join me.
Stand up and Jeff's wife leaves. Cheryl? No. Seriously, okay. Bob alluded to, I'm going to try to keep this pretty short because Jeff and Allard will tell me 60
1
seconds.
minute.
60 seconds. So anyways, after UCSF, actually, first of all, I just want to say, just like everybody else, this has been an incredibly wonderful experience.
Yay!
Yes. Julie, my wife of 25 years, is here. We have, and I would have to say that other than this table being my favorite, and that table being my favorite, and that table being my favorite, and you guys. Mike's, the two Mikes, Judy, Mark, Elise. I mean, my favorite student from 1986, from this moment forward, is Kent Matsuda. And also,
You're like a politician.
And also, well, as you guys know, Julie was an ICU nurse at San Francisco General Hospital, so we met in internship.
You didn't share the same call room.
I think we did.
Talk to J. Renee about it.
It's okay. She wasn't one of our classmates, although you guys tried to make her one.
What's the statute of limitations?
30 seconds.
All right, 30 seconds. We have 3 kids. Our oldest is 23. Middle is 21. Youngest is 19. We have the 21-year-old at home with us, so we're not empty nesters yet. And I love practicing orthopedics in Monterey and Carmel. So I was telling Georgia that if you guys do come down, we can set you up in some places, for example, the aquarium or something like that in Monterey. I mean, I know some of you come to visit, and we haven't gotten any calls, so please do. But you know, this is our first reunion, and I think there were a couple of reasons for that, but it's been such a great time that we will be back.
Yeah. Right.
I'm here with my beautiful wife Cheryl, who went to the bathroom to throw up. Immaculate Conception. We have a 19-year-old daughter. She's at Elon University in North Carolina. She's a ballet dancer there. And we have an 11-year-old son who plays hockey for the Junior Kings. So basically, our Cabo and Hawaii and Paris trips are now Boston, Chicago, Toronto, Detroit. But that's the way it goes. And I'm a chief too. I'm a chief. I'm a chief of my house. Cheryl May. Beg to differ, but oh yeah. And anyway, so this is my first reunion, and it is awesome, and I can't believe I missed all the others because this is so much fun.
Yeah.
And I've been to, of every institution I've been in, high school, grade school, college, prison, UCSF, UCSF was by far the greatest 4 years of my life. Thank
So when John Mulligan was talking about, you know, how he felt lucky to be at UCSF, I remember, do you guys remember the orientation talk that we all had, and they talked about the MCAT scores, GPAs, and we had pharmacists and, you know, doctorates, right? And Mark Satterfeld, who was a, you know, saxophonist, and Vivian with her, you know, violinist and cello, etc. And I thought to myself, I must be the dumbest guy here. But lo and behold, we happen to go to the same high school. So I thought, okay, I'm the second dumbest guy. I'm just kidding.
No, you're not.
No, he's not.
But really, like Jeff said, you know, I can't believe that I've been away for this long. This has been an incredible weekend, and obviously, you know, we're going to make it a point to make sure that we're here at least every 5 years, if not every year. It was really a blessing to be part of this class. I'm a family physician. I've been in Seal Beach and Los Alamitos area for about 25 years. I've done everything. I started off at Kaiser and became one of the faculty at the family practice residency program for a year, and then decided to go out on private practice and became part of, eventually with Growth, a 15-man group, or a 15 provider group, mostly actually women in our group. And then we, a few years ago, decided that we couldn't stay independent anymore, and we became part of Optum, which is a huge group that's growing as part of United Health Group. I'm doing primarily geriatrics, and I'm working on really developing a model of taking care of the comprehensive, the very complex patients, the sickest of the sick, and seeing what we can do to make things a little bit better for them, because it's the most challenging part of medicine. On the most important things in life, I was very fortunate to find my wife.
Very fortunate.
Well married up.
Well, I mean, you can't say that enough.
Nothing's changed. We've been married 27 years. We've got 3 kids. Our oldest one is 24. He, I think, let's see, who George was mentioning at the outdoors. He actually did the Pacific Crest Trail last year, which is 2,900 miles from the border of California and Mexico all the way to Canada. It took him 5.5 months. He's currently doing research at UC Irvine and is in the process of applying for graduate school in biostatistics and bioinformatics. Our middle one is economics and finance, graduated last year in May, and is currently in Barcelona working for a year. Having a good time. And then our youngest one is 19, is a sophomore in college, and as she tells everyone, because no one else has gone into medicine, she's the pressure's on her. The pressure's on her, and she's the great last hope. But great kids, and we feel very blessed, and it's been just incredibly enjoyable to be here, and we look forward to doing it more and more in the next, hopefully we'll be here celebrating our 40th and our 50th, and it's been a great By
the way, Dean's associate?
Oh, yeah. Let me make a comment about that. So they've been giving
a lot of money in family practice.
They've been giving me a hard time about this. It doesn't really take that much to be a Dean's associate, and one of the things that motivated me to do that actually is Renee. When I found out that Renee, our classmate, was Vice Chancellor of Diversity, I thought, you know what, I am going to make it a point to really squeeze every penny and see what we can do, because I was the first one in my family to go to college, and UCSF gave us an incredible, gave me an incredible opportunity. What better place to give back to to something that has changed my life drastically and for my family. So hopefully with Renee at the helm, we can continue to do, because diversity, our class was as diverse as any class. And look at the talent. When I hear everyone, chiefs of this, and Barbara with what she's doing with bio, similars, etc., it's just incredible. So that's what we want to continue at UCSF.
30 seconds.
So, first of all, I do have to say it's possible to share a call room with someone and not get married to them.
I spent more nights with Mike than I did with my own husband.
Who's seen divorce?
That was 5 years later.
You had a big impact.
And I will also second that I am going to get Kent Matsuda's number.
Haywon is too.
No, I am.
And I will also say to Bob Jones, I think we all thought we were the stupidest person in class.
Yes.
At least at some point, yes. The other thing, because Haywon just brought this up, I was for those people that went out on Tuesday nights because we had Wednesdays off.
I-beam!
The I happened to be on a plane sitting next to Chris Isaac, who used to perform on Hayes Street all the time. And so I was talking to him about the I-beam, and we were going over stories about the I-beam and his mom coming to watch him play there and stuff.
He played there? Oh, man. Wow.
That was before he was good. So.
Wow.
So I'm still here. I'm in San Francisco. I do facial plastic surgery. My office is literally down the hill from
Second best friend.
Sorry, kid.
Get out of here. Wait, he said plastic's letting you roll it.
Did you hear that?
Can we unhear? That's something you can't unhear.
Sorry, I can't keep it.
Let's see. I did a half marathon recently, my first. Yeah. I'm in the San Francisco.
We all decided to be there.
Yeah,
With or without clothes?
With clothes. And what else? Two of the people I met before, they met their spouses, Julie, who I worked with as a resident, and Dan, who I met before he got married. So.
Mike, did you share a call room with me?
Mike was in charge of the operating room when I was a resident in orthopedics.
Yes.
So he was kind of running the show even before.
I was the chief.
You were the
Another chief. Not enough agents.
And look what I've done to all these people.
Stand by the wall. By the wall. Okay.
Get their climb over the table.
You win. Not enough wine to do that.
All right.
All right, so unfortunately, I never shared a share room with, or call room with anybody. So I had a pretty boring 4 years in medical school. I just did the usual thing, and I was not smart enough to get into anesthesia right away. So I did internal medicine first. So,
Wait a minute, what are you saying there? And then she probably did anesthesia too.
You could have always done
I totally went over my head. I don't know what that was all about. But anyway, so I end up in Texas, of all places, thanks to Larry Tierney. Remember Larry Tierney? Go to Texas. I'm like, okay. So that was like the worst 3 years of my life.
Wait, did you run into Jeff there?
I have to say it was not fun. However, I was not one of the arrogant ones. I was like, what the hell am I doing here? Thanks, Larry Tierney.
Did you learn to like George Strait though?
Then what?
George Strait. Like George Strait.
George Strait.
Who's that?
Okay, no country, please. But I did appreciate that when, you know, that every surgical resident, internal medicine resident, if you became chief, which I never did get a pair of cowboy boots. Oh! I never got one. Never a chief of anything. So anyway, luckily I came back to San Francisco, did anesthesia because they said, okay, you can actually come back and do anesthesia, but not the first time. But so I came back and did an anesthesia residency. So now I'm an anesthesiologist, and I'm in the East Bay. So I've been working at Walnut Creek for what, 25 years since 1994.
You do know the difference between a Texan and a cowboy.
No.
Well, the cowboy, the shit's on the outside of the boots.
So I finished my residency and got 6 months of credit for 3 years of being in Texas. So I don't know. I guess that's what they thought it was worth. And I've been at the East Bay and with the same anesthesia group. And I have 2 children, and unfortunately I'm going to have to wait for the 50th reunion to be an empty nester. They're 13 and 8. And they're mine. My own. You know, when I was like, what, 46, I guess? I thought I was going through menopause, but I was actually pregnant. The medallion, I think you get a medallion, right? We'll have to wait for the medallion here for my empty nest speech. I have a 13-year-old and an 8-year-old. So no retirement for me, for at least 10 years. And so I'm doing outpatient anesthesia, so I don't do any more trauma call. Woo!
Yeah.
No weekends, and it's actually great.
Yeah.
So.